All right, so today is Wednesday, the 23rd. Tomorrow is, of course, the end of the quarter. Today we're going to work on our warm up, after which we're going to finish the difference of squares practice from yesterday. Difference of squares. I need to go over division because I didn't do that. Division, dividing the pot. I kind of did, but you need to see it. You need to physically see it. And then all you're doing is just going to practice factoring. And if you have makeup work, you can work on makeup work at that time. Please make sure that everything is submitted. Okay, at that time, I'll call your name. You're going to bring me your planner so that I can grade that and give it right back to you. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Let's look at the warm-up, please. Clear your calculator. 2 plus 7, 1, 2. Yes. I think maybe. Hold on. Yes. You have to put the title on it, and I have to stamp it. You take a picture and submit it. Okay, hold on. Let me do this. You got one. Okay. All right. Let me talk to you in a few. Let me get this thing. All right. Warm up. If you deposit $4,500 into your account and it pays 3.5% annual interest. Okay, so right there, what kind of function is this going to be?
Exponential.
It's exponential growth, okay? Already, because it's growing by 1%. All right. How much money will the account have after 5 years? All right, so show your work. So what form are we going to use for exponential growth? What's the form that we use? Y is equal to what?
C
Mm-hmm.
parentheses 1 plus R
Mm-hmm.
to the X power.
To the X or T power. Very good. All right, so what are we going to write for C? Yes.
4,500.
4,500. Great job. 1 plus, what do we write for R, Josiah?
0.035.
0.035. Good. You changed the percent to a decimal to the X power. Any questions? Okay. So now when we solve this, how do we solve it to figure out what our answer is? Yes.
I can put my phone book back.
Uh-huh. How do we solve it to get an answer? Yes.
You would replace that X for 5.
Very good. You replace the X with 5. So this is going to be 4,500 times 1.035 to the 5th power. And then that's going to give you how much it is. Thank you. Okay. Any questions? I'm going to pause to give you a chance to solve that. All right. So let's still over the second one. How much money will be in your account after 20 years if the interest, now here we go, is compounded this time? It's compounded monthly. Okay. So we're taking the same scenario, but this time it's compounded monthly. So what formula are we going to use for the second one? Yes. The compound interest formula. Oops, sorry. All right. What's the compound interest formula? Yes.
Y equals C.
Mm-hmm. Y equals P
P
or C. It's the same.
1 plus R over N to the NT power.
Very good. Okay. So now what do we substitute? You could put Y or A. What are we going to substitute for P?
4,500.
4,500. And we got 1 plus, what do we put in the place of R? Yes, baby. Very good. 0.035. Good job. What do we put for N? Yes, 12. And then we got NT. What's the N and what's the T? 12 and 20. So we got 12 times 20. So this is going to give me A is equal to, and I'm going to go ahead and add that together. That's going to be 1 plus 0.035 divided by 12. Okay, you see what that gives me? I should have just typed it all in together. Just type the whole thing in and see what you get. Okay, there's no need to break that into steps. Put it in parentheses, type it in, and you should get your answer. All right, any questions? I'm going to pause to give you a chance to find your answer. Okay, so the last one, let's multiply. Multiply the numbers together. This is -2, this is -1. What's -2 times -1?
-2.
+2.
Oh.
Negative times the negative is a positive. Oh, we got a power. So we got to do the power of a power first. I didn't see that little 5. So we got to do this part first. So this is going to be -2. We got 1 times 5. And we got x to the 4th times 5. Bring this down. And that's -20. All right, so what does this give me? This is 5. So we got -2 to the 5th power. So let's do that. Actually, let's wait to the end. So this is going to be -2 to the 5th power. And this is going to be x to the what?
20th.
20th. Okay. And then we got this negative x to -20. All right, so now we're going to multiply. We have negative times a negative. That's going to give me a positive here. So then I just have 2 to the 5th, positive 2 to the 5th. And here I have x multiplying, so that's going to be 20 plus a -20. And so what does that give me here? 0. So since, what's x to the 0 power?
1.
1. So that gives me 2/5 times 1, which is just 2 to the 5th. So now we got 2 to the 5th. What's 2 to the 5th equal to? 2 to the 5th power. Sorry. 2 to the 5th power. That's 32.
What happened to the negative?
A negative times a negative. Negative times a negative is a positive. Negative times a negative is a positive. Yes. All right. Any other questions there? I'm gonna pause. All right. So let's take out this right here in our notebook, please. All right. So we got difference of squares. Okay. I wanted you to finish all the way up to number 10. So I'm going to go over some of these. Raise your hand if you need me to wait. Okay, I'll pause. Yes. All right, so let's do it. Okay, number 7. We got 4n squared minus 1. Both of these are perfect squares. They're both perfect squares. So in the parentheses, we have, what's the square root of 4?
2.
So we got 2, the square root of n squared.
N.
N. So we put 2n in both. What's the square root of 1? 1. And then when you multiply, in order to get a negative 1, one has to be a positive and the other has to be a what?
Negative.
Negative. Any questions about that? You can check it by using the full method. Yes.
What page number is this?
2. Quarter 4, page 2. Sammy, sit up. Number 8. We have 1 minus 16x to the second. Okay. So again, they're both perfect squares. What's the square root of 1? What's the square root of 16x squared?
4x.
4x. And we check, skipping ahead of myself. One has to be a positive and the other has to be a negative. And we check it by using the full. Yes, baby.
Isn't it fine if we do it the other way around? Like 4x and then...
Yeah, like we did this one.
Okay. I was just saying like reverse. Like the numbers inside the parentheses. So 4x minus 1?
What do you mean?
I put 4x minus 1 and then another one I put 4x plus 1.
No, because that will make your ones a negative. Both your ones have to be positive. You got a negative in front of one and a positive in front of the other.
Oh.
Do you see it? 1 times 1 gives you the 1. Do you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 9. We got x to the 4th. We got y to the 2nd. Okay. All right. What's the square root of x to the 4th?
X to the second.
X to the 2nd. And then what's the square root of x to the 2nd?
X.
Y.
Oh, Y.
Sorry. I'm sorry. So one's going to be positive and the other's going to be what?
Negative.
Any questions about that?
Does it matter which order you put the positives and the negatives?
No. Anybody lost? I'm going to squeeze 10 in here. 9 minus c to the 2nd. What's the square root of 9?
3.
It's 3. What's the square root of c squared?
C.
C. 1 is minus and 1 is plus. Any questions about that? Anybody lost? Are we good? Okay, how we feel about that? Yay, nay, maybe? Okay. All right, I want you to do 11. Is there a square root of n to the 3rd?
No.
No. Okay, and then, so this one here is prime.
They both have to be perfect square roots.
They both have to be perfect squares or perfect cubes.
Okay.
And 25 is not a perfect cube either.
Couldn't that keep going or it have to be like perfect fourth root or fifth root?
It could, yes. Number 12. We have 16x. 16. We have x to the 2nd minus. Okay, so look at this. Look, we have we can take out. We got a GCF here. What's the GCF here?
2.
2. If we take out 2, what's left?
8x squared
8x squared
and negative 3x squared. 3y squared.
and negative what?
Oh,
3y. Are these perfect squares?
no.
No, that's it. This is factored. You can't do anything else with that. Do you see? Any questions?
So you would just, so if they,
These are two factors, 2 and this binomial. You can't break it down anymore. Number 13, 49 and negative 4a squared. Okay? What's the square root of 49?
7.
So we got 7 here and 7 here. What's the square root of 4a squared?
2.
One has to be positive and the other has to be what? $14. A squared, b squared, minus the c to the 4th, okay? What's the square root of a squared, b squared?
AB.
AB. What's the square root of c to the 4th?
C second.
One has to be plus, the other has to be what? Minus. Any questions? Do number 15 on your own. Okay, so what is this one?
2x1.
Plus 3 what?
Z.
Z. And this one? Very good. Thumbs up if you think you get it. Sideways if you're confused. Okay. All right, let's do page 3. We're going to be dividing polynomials. But this is simple division. You've already kind of seen this, but I need to give it a name so you'll know. Q4. And we're going to be just doing simple division. We're not doing long division. You'll learn that in math too. This is just simple divide. You'll do synthetic or long division for polynomials next year. Page 3. All right, very, very simplistic. If we have, let's suppose that we have 15x to the 4th plus, let's do 5x squared, and let's do 20 x, okay? And it's in order by degree, okay? Highest degree goes first. We want to divide this by, let's divide by 5x, okay? Now, when we divide by 5x, we have to divide each of these terms by 5x. Okay, do you understand what Ms. Reyes just said? So if I divide this by, I divide 15 x to the 4th, what does that give me?
3x to the 3rd.
3x to the 3rd. Plus what?
Plus
X.
Plus x. Plus what?
Plus 4x.
4.
Oh, 4.
That's okay, babe. And this is your answer. Any questions about what I did there? I told you was already going to know how to do this, but I just need to give it a name. All right, let's do another one. Let's suppose we have 27 n to the fifth plus 9n to the third minus 6. We can do 12. 12n to the second. And let's divide this by 3. Let's do 3n to the second. All right. See if you can do that on your own. See if you get the right answer, okay? What did you get, babe? 9. I think you said 9. Is that right? 9n to the what? Third. Okay, good. Orlin, what'd you get for the next?
Plus 3n.
Plus 3n. Good. And then what'd you get, Cooper?
-4.
-4. Raise your hand if you got that right. All right, perfect. You are going to see this on your quiz. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Anybody lost? All right, so now I'm going to I want you to use the rest of this time to make up work if you have makeup work. I'm going to give you this for practice for factoring. You can work on this. If you're finished with everything, you don't have any makeup work, I'm going to give you this to do. This has a little bit of everything on there, okay? This has a little bit of everything. So I want you to factor, make sure you do GCF first, okay? And then if it's a trinomial, make sure you use the steps for factoring a trinomial, okay? And so on and so forth. Anybody lost? GCF always goes first. If you have makeup work, please do that first. If you don't have makeup work, then you need to work on this. But guys back there, Orland knows no talking. I do not want us to talk. You need to use your time wisely to complete the things that need to be completed. Okay? No talking, please. I'm going to go ahead and stop the video.